here from Toklao, near Tuvalu, not to be confused with Thuklao, who is not in Tuvalu. We're here with the 13th, lucky number 13th edition of Demi SEA Weekly, number 13. We are here. I am, of course, your host, Yaku of Yakuzaku, and with you today is La Táctica Rusa que en Yeats Todos los Bandidos himself, like _VIP. How we doing, like?
What's up, Yaku? We are back 2 days in a row with some beautiful Oceanic and Southeast Asian StarCraft. Mate, one of these guys was promised to us yesterday. We were robbed of him, but here he is today.
Yeah, he better make it up for us. As we start things off on, Submarine. LE, the LE submarine of which we all live in, but some of us thrive. Like our player here in the top left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner, the Blues player coming out from the Philippines. He is your DreamHack Winter Southeast Asia representative, representing Liab Esports, coming down from the Philippines, if I didn't mention that, Caviar Napoleon Arquises Acampado. EnDerr.
And spawning in the bottom right, but also proxying just underneath his opponent, we have the Australian Terran player. He is overseen by the likes of Azure and Seether, but he is here. He's competing pretty regularly now, representing Legacy Esports. It is RunaMoK. He's gonna get scattered.
Is he gonna get scouted? He's going. Oh, I should just about see at least one of these barracks. There we go. Gets just the glimpse.
Oh boy, beautifully done. Yeah, exactly. This is pretty huge because now, okay, EnDerr is aware that there is this proxy. He should be pulling a couple of boys, making sure these bunkers don't finish up. But the thing is, like, RunaMoK, I think, is also aware that he got scouted, so we'll see how committed he is.
Probably shouldn't be too committed over here. I mean, it is just the 2 racks. Like, it's a 4 racks kind of proxy coming up.
Or 5.
But he'll try to see what he can get done. Or 5, yeah. As we've seen previously. That was also a TVP, if I'm not mistaken, though.
True. As we do see the Lings are pulled, so are the drones, and the bunker is denied. He's gonna get us around.
And he pins these units right to the gas geyser. Hasn't lost a drone yet, but getting kind of close. No, they have way too much health. There we have it. EnDerr takes game number 1. It wasn't even. That was a 2-minute game. That was Submarine. We wanted the Zerg player to be the one to go across the map with every single Ling reinforcement, but nope. RunaMoK deciding, you know what? I'll let you have this. This was your map pick, EnDerr. I'll take it back in the next game.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, we may be through this series in a solid 5 minutes. We'll find out what happens in game number 2. Honestly, I don't blame RunaMoK for going for the build that he did. It kind of makes sense to me. Again, EnDerr is the most recent Oceanic representative, the most recent Oceanic champion from DreamHack Winter. So he's got to do whatever it takes.
He absolutely should. It's also interesting pricing and some. Well, let's make a pros and cons list here on proxying on Submarine, right? Pros, you get your SCVs across the map faster. Cons, it's a short map. How I'm looking at it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a small map. There aren't that many locations to scout either. So unfortunately, it didn't really work out for RunaMoK in the end. But again, like, he's got another chance. Like, RunaMoK, he can be a very solid macro player as well. So hopefully, depending on what the map is, we get to see that. I'm thinking maybe Oxide would be a good map for him. But at the same time, I imagine EnDerr would have probably vetoed that, as there are actually vetoes in this tournament.
That there are. It's a bit of an alien concept to us here.
It is.
Yeah, it does use the more standard sort of format here of having the vetoes up. But I'm just trying to think, what are the preferred maps of these players? RunaMoK, if I'm not mistaken, previously we've seen him like he likes maps such as Jagannatha, was it?
Yeah, we've seen him like prefer maps are a little bit more open, especially maps where he can utilize his multi-prong. I think he's been impressive to us in the past, you know, kind of Azure-esque, like kind of dropping in multiple locations at once and applying pressure. So yeah, that's what I kind of hope from him, especially because I don't know EnDerr's form at the moment. He keeps signing up for these events. We've seen him a couple of times here and there, but it's been really difficult to really judge him and whether he's at the level he was last year, if he's still kind of working his way up there.
Always got to blame time zones.
Always.
That's what I'm looking at. Got a couple of updates on the bracket here. Unfortunately, Dash does have to forfeit his initial match, so Azure is going forward. And he's getting a rematch of yesterday's Grand Plappers Open Light.
Yeah. Azure, he's not too fond of the matchup. He has struggled in the past. And oh god, F's in the chat. Exclamation mark Funada Demi for that seeding for allowing Azure and GoGoJoy to face in the second round. But to be fair, the bracket today is pretty stacked.
It is very much stacked. We got a pretty perfect round of 12 going on here, actually. Of course, our players waiting over in that second round are the highest seeded players throughout the Demi SEA Weeklies. They were the ones who sign up just about the most consistently and have some pretty good placements over here.
Yeah, and the entire the Bermuda or the Zergmuda triangle is here of C, right? Miyamika, EnDerr, and GoGoJoy, all three of them.
It's a shame that two of them are gonna have to take each other out in just that second round.
It's gonna have to happen. It's a bit of a shame as well that Demi is here in spirits and in the lobby, but not competing today.
Listen, it's his birthday. He's allowed to. He's allowed to knock. Oh, technically it was yesterday, but he's allowed to grab some popcorn, rig the bracket here to have some matchups that he wants to watch. Just
lay back and just let it all happen. Let the chaos ensue.
Yeah. He loves it.
Oh boy, and okay. I kind of like this map choice here. This makes a little bit more sense to get into a longer game, perhaps, on Romanticide.
LE. That is, in fact, the map that we are currently on. LE, of course, standing for Lovers Edratic. Lovers Edratic. I don't know what that Edratic means, but, you know, you'll figure it out. In the bottom right-hand corner, the map's funding all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. The Blues player coming down from the land of the Philippines. He is going to be representing Liabi Sports. We finally, get to see him once again in one of these weekly events. He is, of course, EnDerr game.
And spawning in the top left, where, how do I show all vision instead of specific player vision, which I may have accidentally pressed?
Wait, what?
Accidentally.
Oh. E.
E? There we go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Australian Terran player. Okay, pretty interesting here. Opening up with double gas. We have, representing Legacy Esports, it is RunaMoK.
What's the gas for? What is that gas for? Is he gonna make a Reaper coming out from that Rax? I kind of hope he doesn't. I want him to conserve that gas for something spicy here.
It would make sense, right? Like, if you just kind of rush the factory with this. We'll wait and see, because again, prioritizing your gas like this is quite peculiar, like this early on.
Absolutely is. At least in TVZ. TVT is definitely another matchup. Okay, not gonna be skipping the Reaper this time. So he does want to have a little bit of that early map control and get some scouting on his opponent. Goes for a factory expand, which is something you can do when you go for double gas like this, and actually immediately walling this off.
Exactly.
He doesn't want an expansion light.
Yeah. So this is already kind of a big tell, especially because EnDerr went for an earlier pull, so he will be able to go across the map with his lings. This was more of a safety, as we see he's even checking for proxies, checking for any kind of building bunker or anything like that. So he will see that the natural is delayed, but he should be denied main scouting.
He definitely should. Well, for the time being, at any rate, there's not a lot of anti-air over here for RunaMoK, and the Overlords are starting to creep their way forward slowly but surely. But that might be just way too late. I'm just really curious what RunaMoK has in store.
Interesting. I was kind of hoping for like some kind of one-base play and like a fast 1-1-1, but we do see that it is going to be a CC after the 1-1, but it is just out of vision, just barely.
Yeah, for all EnDerr knows, this is a one-base build, and he's just completely disrupting the factory coming up here.
Yeah, still doesn't quite see the CC. In the end, the Ling will go down. EnDerr will always have the opportunity to dive in with an Overlord, especially because like there are no Marines or anything, like there's no anti-air whatsoever.
Yeah, he's working on Zoomer Nice Carapace now. He wants to have his eyes deep inside that base. RunaMoK with a pretty peculiar take on the 1-1. So again, it's a factory expand, which you don't often see in a TVZ. I feel like this is definitely more of a safe TVT kind of build.
Yeah, it's very odd. I don't know if I want to say that he's playing scared. I don't know what he's doing. I'll be like, he is kind of forfeiting a lot of the economy, but at the same time, EnDerr, like, his third is incredibly late. Like, he should have had it by now, well by now, and he's just not going for it. Like, it's incredibly late.
It very much is. I think this is very much misdirection coming up from RunaMoK though. EnDerr, he thinks it's a one base build.
Yeah, exactly.
And to be fair, EnDerr, or RunaMoK rather, does have an opportunity to be very aggressive. He's going to be dropping some of these Hellions right into the main base. It's super important for EnDerr to be able to see that medevac now.
Yeah, has the
I'm
medevac
not sure if he did.
Does leave. It does go past. Yeah, it does go past the Overlord. So he should see it, and EnDerr did end up scouting everything in the main base. He saw the 1-1-1. He saw all the tech labs researching. He should also see this CC landing. So again, RunaMoK, he's banking a lot on this drop, right? He hurt his own economy pretty drastically to make this happen, and potentially he could sneak in. Like there is a patch here in the main that EnDerr has no vision.
The Queen is just out of range, Light. It's just out of range, but the Lings do get in. Not the best angle for Hellions to fight in. And RunaMoK just immediately dips out, tries to find a different angle going on. Meanwhile, EnDerr with the massive Ling run by will be stopped by a couple of Hellions body blocking that ramp, but 3 SCVs for just a couple of Lings. Not too bad for EnDerr. He's regaining the map control now.
Yeah, it's not too bad at all. Like 3 kills and a bunch of lost mining time, as you said. I'm really curious to see if like an armory gets thrown down with this. Like he has a decent amount of Hellions. It couldn't hurt, especially if he was opting to go for a push. Speaking of pushes though, these things are gonna flood in.
And they're gonna get completely burnt up. EnDerr taking a bit too many losses there, but does manage to get the retreat with most of his Links.
And there it is. The armory is thrown down. Ask and you shall receive. So this will be a bit of a Hellbat push supported by Banshees and a couple of Stim Marines. So this will hit pretty hard. And EnDerr, okay, he does have a Baneling Nest, so he does have the tools at his disposal to defend.
Also opting for Aspire. That is Gambit, isn't it?
No, not really. But yeah, it's pretty interesting that he's going for the Spire. It immediately does get scattered though by this Banshee, so a RunaMoK, he should be aware of it, but it won't stop his push.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at the gas count right now, Light, and I look at the minimap and all those Hellions coming around. Those Mutalisks are not going to be up. So EnDerr, I like this. He's not being too stubborn here. He's not, banking up his minerals. He is just trying to work on getting his Lings and Banes out.
What's worrisome is that all his Lings are across the map, and he did drop them into the main base, so he will be dealing a lot of damage, a lot of economic damage. Meanwhile, the Banelings go in, but the splits were decent by the Hellbats.
Indeed, they were, and the rest of the Banelings just get completely burnt up. Some of them targeted down by the Banelings, but now the Baneling is... Oh, the Banshees are out. RunaMoK losing a lot more SCVs on the other side of the map. These Hellbats will not stop just yet, Light.
They won't.
Taking so much damage.
Yeah, and the reinforcements are going to clean everything up. The medevac fell to the Spore. Meanwhile, the Lings are across the map. As you said, 20 SCVs went down. There's no mining whatsoever in the main base. I guess the natural is secure, and there is a third CC.
There definitely is, but now the Mutalisks are out. There's way too much army on the map. EnDerr, you'd be taking that series 2-0, going up to face Mio Micah in what was, or what should have been really, a match that happened last season. I don't know how that got an echo there.
GG, well played. EnDerr does 2-0 RunaMoK, which again, going into the series, EnDerr was the favorite, but wow, what a way. Especially game 2. I was so impressed by his aggressive style.
Absolutely, his counterattack kind of style, completely undeterred seeing those Hellions move across the map. He really just thought, you know what? Lings, they're very flammable. I don't want to get them into that fire, but you know where there ain't fire? Or where there should be fire, rather. The buildings on the other side of the map. And I'm gonna cause that fire.
Yeah, honestly, it was amazing to see like how confident he was in his own defense. Like he had, I think it was 5 or 6 banelings to defend and his queens, and he just sent all of his lings across the map. He was like, okay, I should be okay at home. And sure, he lost a couple of drones, but he just had to hold out long enough for his ling reinforcements to pop out of those eggs, and then he was able to clean everything up and just, beautiful, beautiful play.